So my mother's emotionally bankrupt, and as a demonstration of emotionally bankruptism, right? Take a normal conversation where you just pick something out of the paper, like, oh, did you hear that WikiLeaks is suing the Guardian, right? And that's a non-emotional. That's just something that's taking place, right? It doesn't tell you how I feel. It doesn't tell you if I'm for or against Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. It's not a emotional ploy. It's just, oh, didn't you know? Like, check this out because maybe you knew this or maybe you didn't. Then she's gonna be like, oh, he's a worm, right? Because she doesn't want to contribute any useful information. He's a worm. She's emotionally bankrupt. She needs the emotion. Whether it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, however she wants to feel, I'm assuming that, like she should give that feeling to other people, then she would have it. But she's not like that. And she's not doing my sister any favors, and my sister's not doing her any favors. Because even though they get together to smack talk me and feel self-important, like their relationship has a deep schism, because my mother disrespects my father's memory, and my sister loved my father to death. She didn't she had the worst. It had the worst effect on her, my father dying, than it had on anybody else. And like with me, their divorce had the worst effect on me than it had on anybody else. But for my sister, it was my father's dying that had the worst effect on her than anybody else. And my mother still pisses and shits on him whenever she gets a chance to. 20 years after the fact, she'll still disrespect him. Not in a productive sense, like whereas like he made mistakes and this and that and he wasn't perfect, but like wherein you're an emotional vampire and you can't contribute any perspective to anybody, but then to shit on somebody when they can't defend themselves because they're not here anymore. So she'll go and visit my sister and not invite me to come see her. And my sister wants to, what's it called? She wants to be the leader, the breadwinner, the success and everything, to kind of rub that in my mother's face. And my mother, she may appreciate it, like the success and everything. She wants her children to be successful, but she's she doesn't care how. Like, she doesn't care if, because since she's always in the enemy's camp, then she doesn't mind if my sister's on the enemy's camp too. And my sister miscalculates the fact that because she's a fireball, like, and she has this personality like that if she chastises somebody, that they might actually feel like slighted or want to redress, But if I got my sister fired from her job from talking shit about her piece of shit billionaire fucking boss, Tom Steyer, if she thinks that I'm going to shirk at fucking, or always noise, if she thinks that I'm gonna garner some sort of response, like by shrinking, because she's yelling at me, she's fucking crazy. Like they've been feeding off my emotions. You have been taking my side on against my mother when it's me and you, and then you never really give her, you never really tell her that she needs to stop shitting on my father's memory, like, uh, and trying to get me to cuck to bullshit that because you don't have the attention span to find out, what's really going on around you. You know, like, I'm more complicated than you can understand because people like that are going to attribute sentiments to me that don't belong to me, and they're not going to give me credit when it's due. They're going to do both and all that and it's not to discredit me. They're trying to feed. They're feeding, but they don't really appreciate what goes into outcomes. They just they like the outcomes. They don't appreciate and they want that, but they don't want to fight for it. So don't be surprised when on when you have a falling out with those in your camp, because I'm supposed to destroy that camp anyway. Like, I'm not saying that me personally can do it single-handedly, but if it happens, if it just so happens, like, I worked to that avail. You think that I'm going to take like, you think I'm going to look down at my feet because your shit fell apart? Like, your shit was designed to fall apart from the get-go. It's just that you kind believe in the re-emerging of the suppressed. Like, you don't have that facet of seeing the parallels and how people always say never again, and it always happens again. Like, it always, the salienated uh, fascistic, it just has to reform itself into something more endeared to than fucking imposter, and it'll be right back. And you compromise and fucking make a pact, and then the new information comes out and you can't comment freely, then you're emotionally bankrupt and you need to feed off me. So I can't have so basically you're denying me a good conversation with you, but you can't deny me a good conversation with anybody. So you're the only loser. You know, for whatever short-term, like, loss that there is for you, for if your boss is like, I have to cut you because Ahmed is telling me things that you couldn't possibly know unless somebody was telling him things. And so I have to let you go. It's maybe you didn't mean anything bad by it, but you can't be telling him shit. Well, then go with your family. Go let him ghetto gag you. And then I'll just be here, the ultimate warrior, building a foundation to catch you like a net, and to take care of our, some sort of like lands, maybe, so with a little cottage on it that you can get in-home medical help when you're an old lady. And, that's for my mother and everything, while they're doing everything they can to destroy me, like, mentally, spiritual attacks and all that bullshit, all that weak game that y'all fucking with. It's still there. It's just that, like, I'm always gonna be like, like, back in the day, he was a real piece of work back in the day. I'm just consistent. I'm consistent. Whatever you were saying about me now and whatever you're saying about me in the future is two different things. But did I change though?